All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in July 19th, 2019. Today was exciting with Netflix, and tomorrow is going to be crazy. Now, I say that because of the events and what caused today, and we had this crazy rally, and a lot of people want to know why. Simply, there was comments that came out by the Fed. People took it as very, very dovish that what I think it was Mr. Williams, what he said was pretty much, we need to have low rates, we need them fast, blah, blah, blah. It was pretty much taken as if they were going to cut rates in the upcoming meeting. That was probably the most dovish thing said by the Fed. The market liked it. The dollar dropped. Everything was looking as if, okay, that's settling it in. And then literally shortly right after, a lot of moves even haven't happened after hours. The Fed came out and they said that policy or that statement was regarding policy over the last 20 years. They kind of walked back those comments, and literally you saw some crazy moves happen after hours with both the SPY, the dollar rebounded a little bit. So tomorrow's going to be crazy. I don't have any keys for you tomorrow because what I'm going to say is, just stay in the game and be ready and be prepared. Anything could happen. And if there isn't any big moves, or even if there is tomorrow, a lot is still going to have to play out into next week. And then as we start approaching this Fed meeting coming up, and we still got more earnings. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get straight to the plays. I'm going to try to shoot these off for you guys so you're ready, because the most important thing you guys need to do, post your watch list below. Tell me what you guys are looking at. And even more important than that, actually, tomorrow is Bring a Friend to Cult Day. So invite somebody. We are going to be live on stream, youtube.com/the stock market. We're going to be there around 30 minutes before open, and I need you guys all there. We need to have an active day. We need to have a lot of questions. We need a lot of plays. We need to source that information. So that being said, I'm going to get straight to the plays, and I do want to share with you guys a little bit on option and option pricing. So once I finish the plays, we will get into that so you guys are ready to go. But starting off, I have NVIDIA. I want to look at that, but ultimately Boeing. I'm sure you guys saw this today. We had our play with the calls, and really it just sold off like crazy today. I even switched up to even grab some of the puts. Again, total for a call and a put, we're in about $32 both ways. However, after hours, they reported that they're going to be getting like a $5.9 billion charge off because the 737 MAX, and the stock went up. So this is interesting, and if you guys even relate this to last time Boeing reported, they did something literally about a day or two before they reported, or the week before, they came out and with another one of these estimates, because they're pretty much trying to soften the blow and give investors a better idea. And that's why the stock went up, by letting them know. It's kind of like the Facebook situation. By letting them know there was a $5.9 billion charge off, they know what impact it's going to have on the from the 737. So it's less fear and speculation, and then it comes out and then they're responding. It's more softening the blow, and they get an idea. In this case, investors thought it was better. It did amount to, I think, about like $8.34 per share is what it adds up to. And they said that they're planning to even put future charge-offs in the future, and this is still an estimate, but now you're getting an idea of how that is affected, and investors like that. So this is going to be a crazy play tomorrow, and again, the volume and everything we saw today on it was nuts, so we're going to be watching that. We're still in the same play. We will, if it does open up strong, we will be in near the money there tomorrow, so we'll see how that plays out. But watch Boeing. I'm going to like that, and I think on a Friday it will be very good. Another play is NVIDIA, and this one too, we're still in the money on it. Or we were in the money this morning. It went up to $1.40 and dropped all the way to 20 cents and closed just about what we paid for it. So this is another one of those plays. We're going to have to wait and see how it is in the morning. And a lot of plays are walking the tightrope. A lot of people sent me messages even before I made this watch list about their plays and this and that. Like, oh, I was down, now I'm up. Now I have this many in the money, that many out of the money. And then these ones, depending on tomorrow, be very, very cautious tomorrow and really pick your ones. You know, if you could get profit in the morning and you have more than one play, try to secure the bag, get all the money you can, and then let the other ones ride and go from there. But I do like NVIDIA, and again, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors, reported today. The chip makers were looking good. Apple got upgraded, so we'll see how it plays out, but watch how it plays in conjunction with Qualcomm and everything else like that and all the other chip makers. Next one is Baidu, and I got puts on this one and actually shot up. We'll see how this one plays out, but I got this one for next week puts because I think some of the China stocks, again, if this trade war starts to escalate, you could already see that some of these Chinese stocks are already kind of edging towards the bottom, or they're kind of holding up a little bit different than how the SPY and some of the tech stocks have been. So they could kind of start to be the first ones to go. So I want to set up with that, and Baidu already looks week in, it has exposure to the rest of those other companies. So keep your eye out for that. Next one is going to be not Boeing, Skechers. They reported today. They had their earnings. And again, I said this one could really surprise. I didn't want to make the play because they were expensive, and it's up 14%. So depending on how these are priced tomorrow, I'm going to keep my eyes out for these, and I think they could be a good play on the call side for a continuation, or if it does give up, we'll see what happens from there. Next is Shopify. We're still on those calls for next week. It's still just going better and better after every single day, surprisingly. So here we'll see how it reacts on this Friday. I think last Friday it did do really good. That was a very important day with a lot of people, and they had contracts. So keep watch for this. We're still holding those next week, and be careful. We had 11-11 call. Some people are spending a lot of money. Shopify is expensive. The idea here is to get them cheap. So if you're spending a few $100s on some of these calls, we did get them for about less than $100 last week or the beginning of this week. So I like that. And the last one, to keep the dream alive, Beyond Meat. We played this yesterday. The play expired really, lost value really fast. Even these plays did too. I grabbed another call. I did kind of go a little bit outside of my lines, but I'm feeling Beyond. And honestly, if it doesn't hit this week, I am going to go after it next week. But I just know what this stock could do there. It just has to have all the stars aligned. But again, you could lose a lot of money trying to wait till that happens. But keep eye out for that. I like that one. Next is going to be Microsoft, and they went up $3.78. And this is where I want to talk about the option pricing and where they were at. So I guess I might as well talk about it right now because it's just very, very relevant. But the key here is looking at what these companies report, or when they report, and looking at the option chain before earnings. So what do? I've made a video on this. Again, I encourage you guys to look into it. I'm going to give you the quick rundown here. You go to the expiration of the earnings. So in this case, it was July 19th. You go at the money. And now in this case, when Microsoft closed, it was at $1.35. So again, it was like $1.35, $1.36, and you go see in the money price. You want the option in the money because that's letting you know intrinsic value or not. So literally, if the stock was trading at 136 or even 136.10, it had 10 cents of intrinsic value, you would subtract 10 cents from the premium. That would leave you with $2.50, and that's saying, hey, the market maker is charging $250 for this option because they believe by July 19th, it's not going to go higher than $2.50 from now. If it was, they would have raised the price. That's why sometimes some stocks during earnings, it has a very high price because the market makers and what the whole market and what people are willing to pay is very, very high because they're expecting a bigger move. So in this case, that was exactly it. The 136, Microsoft was pricing a $2 move. Even if you go to the put side, it was about $2. And again, it's not showing in the money right now because it moved up. So the fact that it moved $4, and this is what we were saying, that was a surprising factor. And that's why some of these options that were kind of cheap, again, it needed to move a little bit more. The 4% had some pricing in it that made it where there's not crazy deals. But watch out for that. But now this is the lesson coming in for the future earnings. You go see what the market is pricing. And again, watch the video if you want the full in-depth analysis of this. But you see what the market's pricing. Today, they priced $2.50, $2.30 for Microsoft. Your job is to agree or disagree. If you think the market's correct and it's only going to move $2, then you could either buy that option at that price or make your play accordingly or don't play it. If you disagree, that's where you could go start hunting for these out-of-the-money options and try to go for these small, cheap plays that could increase a lot in value because you're saying, well, no, I think it can move a lot more. And this was kind of a weird case here because they were pricing in a $2 move. I said that they could move around $4 if you guys remember on stream, and it did just about that. But the price at that $4 mark really wasn't too appealing for me still. So I would have needed more of a 10% move or something like that. But again, that's a big move. However, we did see a few companies report. So now that we got that out the way, watch out for Microsoft. I still like that one a lot. Next is McDonald's. I'm pissed because this was a play we missed. The 215s were dirt cheap yesterday, and they came back up. So watch these again. We'll push it to the wall. And someone gave a good example today. Pushing it to the wall is kind of like running out the clock. So now we have these Friday expirations. Your job, get the ball, hold it, run out the clock till that last, there's 30 seconds left. Your job is to dribble around for the first 20 seconds and go for the basket in the last 10. It's very, very strategic, and that's how we have to find these plays. So wait for McDonald's to fall out of the money and see what it does. But again, how it rotates and what it does from there will be important. So we like them. The next one's going to be Home Depot. Same thing. And now look if you guys remember, we were talking a bunch of smack on that 215, and hopefully you guys got to see this from a lesson. And yeah, I should have sold the premium on it, but like I said, the risk reward wasn't too there. But That contract was at $4, and I told you guys by the end of the week that thing will be out of the money and will be, it went to my price. It went to 30, came back to $90, and then came back down. So wait to see that tomorrow. These contracts, especially as it's depreciated today, that could open up some big opportunity if and only if the underlying moves. So watch out for that. Watch out for Home Depot. I like that one. Next is going to be CrowdStrike. They are IPO, and now this brings up both Beyond, Crowd, Zoom, and the Real, any of these IPOs that just came out. Now that they're having their first IPOs, even Chewy. Actually, what happened to Chewy? I don't know if this is Chewy's reporting, but when one of these IPOs does really good, that's a sign to start looking at the rest of them, because you might see the market rotate into them. So keep an eye out for CrowdStrike and source that information. If you guys have any IPOs or you think any are going to run, post them below. So there's that for that list. And then finally, this list is where we need to pay attention. TLT is the first one. Again, after they walked back the comments with the Fed, I'm expecting something to react with that, and even the interaction with the dollar. And I don't sleep on it. It's crazy how the market believed the dovish tone so far that was set today. And why do I say that? Is because the expectations in the futures, this is where I'm saying it's about I don't know what to expect, because it just got really wacky. And what I mean by that is that how the predictions and the future prices were so quick to move. Oil, gold, and that's going to be crazy. And again, I forgot about that. Oil in Iran. Watch as the de-escalation tensions or more escalation. They set a drone. I don't think that's going to cause an issue, because they offered a nuclear deal today in exchange to release the sanctions, and I kind of think that shows the effect it's having on them. But if this drone thing that happened, I doubt they went from de-escalating to escalating the next day. It could be an issue. We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, keep an eye out for that, because the issue is going to be how any tensions affect oil. When there's more tensions with Iran, oil is going to shoot up. When there isn't, it's going to drop. And then watch the interaction between energy and energy prices to banks and what that means, because banks hold a lot of these loans. So now everything else is still getting affected. So watch out for TLT. And then finally, this one was a big one for you guys, GLD and JNUG. And I actually like these. The contracts aren't too crazy. We spotted them this morning. Shout out Hello World. He asked me about him. He's like, I'll donate to you if you talk to me about this. He said if I talk about it, he's going to throw me some guala. And I looked at the play and I was like, dang, it's actually decent. And I said I was going to get it. And I think I got distracted at the 11-11 and I missed the play. And it shot up about 60% afterwards, which is, again, these plays are very difficult to play on the option. So come on stream if you guys have questions. But I'm going to stock these. And somebody please remind me on these throughout the day constantly, even if I forget, because we need to let these come down. But if we hit these with the right strategy, last time, it's kind of like it usually precedes TLT. So if TLT is about to skyrocket, TLT is still holding above 130. We're going to see how that plays out. But it went up a lot, and gold has been on a tear. And even for all you gold bugs out there, the gold to silver ratio and how silver's been running up, it's been getting pretty wild. So there's that for you guys. Straight to the point, quick. It is bring your friend to Cote tomorrow. I better see you there. I better see your watch list below. You better get in the game. And look at you seen all these moves after hours. Random things will pop. This, that. That is the market. You don't have time to get discouraged if you're gonna quit and get sad. This and that. I mean, I would say go home, but you got to Cote, baby. I need you in the game, every single one of you, and recognize how this works. Control your capital. Be smart. We just gotta last a few more weeks into these earnings and let everything come up here. And remember, have an allocation plan to always be in the game. Again, playing these weeklies, playing these options, that is trying to be timing the market. Hence, options have expiration dates and time. It is about time in the market, not timing the market. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Let me see those watch lists. Thumbs up the video. Let's go.